You're listening to Business Talks with Jazmin J. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been rocking with me, thank you for staying tuned in. What's up, y'all? So today's episode is one of my favorite pillars, but I must be honest, it's one of the hardest to balance, and that's family and friends. Building meaningful relationships and having those relationships that really fuel your why. My family is definitely my why. They are the reason I do everything that I do, but it is a pillar that I struggle with, and that is why I had to create a strategy for family and friends, because having that balance is very important. So the first thing I want to talk about in my journey with that, as y'all already know, I was a teenage mom. So I was introduced to motherhood at a very early age. And I come from baby boomer parents. And if you know, you know. Baby boomers feel like young people should stay in young people's business, adults have their own business. But for me, growing up as a young parent, it was very important for me to be very transparent with my kids. So the first point I want to make in building meaningful relationships and having strategy for family and friends is being transparent. You have to be honest. Just let them know where you are. From my whole parenthood, from when I first became a parent, I always was very honest with my kids about where I was as a woman, where I was as a parent, where I was in my career, and that I was absolutely just trying my best. And then I moved this over to my relationship with my parents. You know, we went to therapy. We've done a lot of things to just put things out there to know that where everyone is, because everyone has a different perspective. And then we have friends. Friends are important to me. My friends are my sisters. They my ride or dies, and their relationship is very important. So I've even had to realize that I can be more transparent in my communication with them, letting them know, hey, y'all, this is a busy season. I have this going on with my kids. I have this going on with work. I have this going on with me. But being transparent can take relationships a very long way. So another thing I had to learn in this journey is being very intentional. As business women, we have 100,000 things that we have to do every day, and it's 100,000 things that we don't even get a chance to get to. So it's very important to be intentional. So just like we're intentional with business, making sure our strategy is in place, we're intentional with going every morning and working out at the gym and getting a cup of coffee, we need to be intentional about tapping into the relationships that fuel us. So there needs to be intentionality when you're dealing with your children. I had to learn that. I have to be intentional about how I show up. I have to be intentional about how I show up with my friends. I have to be intentional about how I show up to support my parents and all the people around me that mean so much. So that's our second point, is be intentional. You know, and make sure you're cute. But nah, be intentional. So once I've learned being transparent and being intentional, that's not always going to keep the relationship solid. So as I travel my journey in building relationships and being intentional and being transparent, I learned that that is not enough. You also have to be present. Being present in relationships that mean a lot is what fuels us. When I'm down and out, when I want to give up, when I feel like I don't know what the next step is, being around my family and my friends is an automatic spirit lifter. It brings me up. It keeps me motivated. If I'm feeling down, it lifts me up. So presence, being present. And I want to talk about that for a little bit, because being present for me is not always having my presence there. There are multiple ways that you can ensure your presence is there without being physically there. And I've had to learn that the hard way by starting a family so early. I've always had so much that I've had to do. But what I've learned is the thoughtful calls, writing the notes, the smaller things, being considerate, you know, thinking ahead of time, thinking if my kids have something to do, thinking ahead of time, making sure that they're prepared. So being prepared for situations can also help your presence be known. It's nothing like being somewhere and knowing, hey, I'm thought of by my family and friends, or I'm appreciated by my family and friends. And then to be there and see how my presence affects the relationships that mean the most to me fuels me. So being transparent, being intentional, and being present is very important when you're building a strategy for your family and friends. If you have everything in the world with your career, but you don't have the people who mean the most to you, do you really have everything in the world? So on today's episode, y'all, I'm super excited. There's no better people that I can speak to about family and friends and building that strategy than my own children. I'm so excited to sit down with them and have a transparent conversation with them about how they feel in this whole journey of being children of an entrepreneur. So stay tuned as we go over to the couch and see what the Jones gang has to say. All right, y'all. We are at the What's Your Layout segment, and today I have some very, very, very special guests, people that I ride or die for, y'all, my kids. So, welcome to the show, y'all.
Hey. Hey, yo.
Okay, how y'all doing today?
Good. Good.
All right, so I want to give y'all the chance to introduce yourselves to my community, to my audience, to my people. So, Joe.
Hi, my name is Joah, and I have my own podcast. If you guys want to go check me out, it's Joah's World.
Hi, my name is Jason. I have my own YouTube channel. If y'all want to go subscribe, 365 Do the Life.
Okay, all right, Joe. So, Joe, how old are you?
I'm 13.
And what is school like for you?
It's good. I'm an athlete,
You an athlete? What sport you play?
basketball.
You a hooper or you like on
Bench
the team?
warmer.
You
She a bench
decent?
warmer.
She what?
She a bench woman.
Okay, don't play.
She's the person who didn't make the basketball team.
Okay, so how's basketball going for you?
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
How is middle school?
It's good.
Are you ready for high school?
Yeah.
What you looking forward to? So how do you know you're ready?
I just had this.
Oh, okay. All right, dude. What you got going on? What grade you in? How old are you?
I'm 10th grade. I'm 16.
Why are you trying to talk sexy? You don't have to do that with me. Sit up.
Exactly.
Bro, why is y'all doing this?
So, 16, 10th grade. How's that going?
I'm going good. It's going smooth.
All right. Okay, y'all. Well, how y'all feel about being on the show today?
Kind of nervous a little bit.
Nervous. Why? The lights, camera, action.
Yeah.
You nervous? Okay. All right, y'all. So here on Business Talks with Jazmin J, we ask every leader the same thing. What's your layout? So today we're talking about the layout of legacy inside of our own home. So first thing I want to talk about is family leadership. Do y'all classify yourselves as leaders?
Yeah, I would classify myself as a leader.
Tell me why.
I don't know, just like different stuff I do, other people go do it. So,
Oh, you're a leader because people follow you?
yeah.
Okay.
And I always stand out in my own way. So,
Give me an example.
just like anything I do, I'm going to stand out.
Oh yeah, you sound like your mama, boy. What about you, Joe?
Yeah.
You a leader?
Yes.
Why you say that?
Because I'm just like, I feel like I'm real unique in my own way. And I feel like I influence people to do stuff that I do.
Okay, so your brother have people to follow him, and you have people that follow you too, based on your influence.
Yeah.
Okay, you say you're unique, you stand out. What's unique about you?
Everything. My name, my face, my hair, my personality, everything.
All righty, girl. So let's get into it. Y'all grown up watching y'all parents build businesses and lead teams, and even some of y'all grandparents. What's the best part about having entrepreneurial parents?
It's always something new to learn.
Like what?
Just whatever you go around, whatever you be around, it's always something new to learn.
So when did you realize like your parents were entrepreneurs? Like you always known that, or like as a kid, how did it like come clear to you that okay, my parents are out here trying to make something out of nothing?
Maybe when I was in like 3rd grade. Yeah, when I was in 3rd grade, that's when I realized like they actually trying to build wealth in the house. So yeah, maybe when I was in 3rd grade.
Okay, what was your first introduction to wealth?
What do you mean?
Like, how do you even know about wealth? Is that something that was talked about in the home, or is that something you learned on the internet?
Listening to podcasts as a little kid in the car with my dad.
Oh yeah, your daddy gonna keep a podcast on, keep a lecture on. What about you, Joah?
Wait, what was the question again?
Okay, let's get back to it. What's the best part about having entrepreneurial parents?
Oh, like he says, always some to learn and building new skills and different things. Like, cause my dad, he drives trucks, so I learned more about like communication and like what's it called? What's it called? What you got like make an agreement?
Like contracts and stuff?
No, like no
Just explain what you're trying to say.
Like, you know how, like, you come to an agreement, like, if y'all got
Oh, negotiation?
yeah, and like learning how to negotiate and stuff like that. And then my mom, I get to learn more about like the internet, editing skills, more like talking skills, working together, and that's a different side of negotiation.
Oh yeah, okay. So what about your grandparents? Y'all had two grandparents that were entrepreneurs. Is there anything y'all learned from them?
Yeah, I could say I learned some stuff from my granny Marilyn. Like different stuff she taught me, like she was just showing me like this is what happened not too long ago. Maybe I'll say like 6, 7 months ago. She was just showing me and telling me how to run a business and how she think a business should be ran. And basically she was telling me like you can't run a business without structure. So she was just stressing that to me, and I actually understand that and took that in.
So let me ask y'all something. Like y'all are exposed to all these different things, but is it ever overwhelming or are y'all like excited about the information?
Both.
It gets overwhelming?
It's both.
Okay. Well, we're gonna dig into that more. So let's go to the next question. What's one lesson you've learned about leadership just watching how we work as y'all's parents and your grandparents?
The one lesson that we learned about leadership.
Yeah.
One lesson that I learned about leadership was mainly, like it's gonna be trials and tribulations, but you still gotta keep going and keep fighting to get what you want. So that's one lesson I learned about leadership.
Okay, and you learned that through the different experiences that you've seen?
Different stuff with you, my dad, different business problems or small little things in the road that's stopping you from getting to your destination, but you still have to figure it out.
Okay. What about you, Joah?
I learned that like as a leader, no matter how hard things get, you still gotta set an example.
Yeah, that could be very hard at times. Okay. So when you hear the word legacy, what does that mean to you as a son and what does that mean to you as a daughter?
Um, what it mean to me as a son, like legacy mean like some people, family don't even have a legacy to go off of, or so they will have to start their own legacy and set the example. But me, I kind of have a legacy already in the making, which is with my dad, my mom. Y'all working real hard to build a legacy. So me and Joah, we gotta work even harder to keep it going. So yeah,
So how do you feel about having that? Do you feel like it's a lot of pressure having to like continue
Not
on the
really.
legacy or do you feel like it's a step up?
it's just a step up. Like it's a responsibility, it's a need. It gotta be done. So yeah.
Okay. And Joel, you're a lot younger, so like how do you feel about it? Do you feel like this is just a whole lot put on your childhood or do you understand what's going on and you have the desire to want to build legacy as well?
I understand what's going on and I have the desire to build a legacy as well.
So what does legacy mean to you as a daughter?
Legacy is like, to me, it means like different generations of my family of hard work from my grandparents to now to my mother, and it's just like watching it happen. It just make me want to continue.
Okay. So what are some things that y'all like, what are y'all inspired to do as you continue to get older?
My career.
Career, passion, creativity, hobbies, like so let's start with you. You getting ready to transition to high school. So what does your high school life look like?
I want to get into painting, and I want to focus on like school academics and finding like my major and stuff.
Your major for college? Okay, so you gonna go to college? What college you wanna go to?
Duke.
Duke. Okay.
What you think you is a hooper?
You going to play basketball for Duke? Okay. What about you, Duke?
What was the question?
What? I don't even know. What was the question, Joe?
Something about careers.
Oh,
I'm trying to see if she on her
what's
toes,
it
but
like?
yeah. What do you see yourself? So you're currently in high school. You're in the 10th grade. So you got a couple more years of high school. Then you'll be considered what you think is a grown man. So what does the next 4 years look like?
Hard work.
Hard work?
A lot of catching up to do, getting on track, but that's what it's gonna look like for me. Hard work.
Hard work. Okay, and how does hard work play a part in legacy?
I mean, you can't have a legacy if you don't work hard.
All right.
Go
I,
hand in hand.
huh?
They go hand in hand.
Yeah, it definitely goes hand in hand. So now I want to talk about like emotional intelligence and communication and family connection because I feel like that's important. As we as entrepreneurs, a lot of other CEOs, I'm sure feel the same way as me, is that we want to do our best, right? Even when we're trying to like build businesses, family is most important. So I know I try as a mother to show up and be as present as possible. But there are times where communication lacks or things like that. So I want to have a transparent conversation with y'all about communication and family connection. Is that cool?
I could say like, as being a kid of an entrepreneur, and how that like rolls on to me, like I like. I mean, I know you're always gonna have a tight work schedule, but like as a kid, you just gonna have to accept certain things your parents not gonna be able to tell them because they working on the bigger picture. So I had to accept that.
But how does that make you actually feel?
I mean, at first, I used to be mad and stuff, but then I just had to sit back and think on it. It's gonna benefit me in the long run, benefit the family in the long run. So just have to accept it.
Do you feel like you have a safe place to be able to express those type of emotions right now as in our home as a family?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Joah? You feel similar?
Yes.
So you feel like you've had to accept just like with entrepreneurship, sometimes your parents aren't present? And how does that make you feel?
Like he said, I used to. Well, I wasn't never mad, but I was just like, it just felt like it was like I was never mad, but it was like I just wanted you to be there. Like it was like certain things, like like everything got a first, like your first
Reaction.
walking, first talking, stuff like that. So, but then I just accepted it, like he said, because in the long run, I know it's not intentional.
Like I remember, like when I was a little kid, when I'm with the Kip, and my dad was on the road. Like that used to make me so mad. I used to just be mad. Cause like every day he was gone, he was gone. And even now with you in the studio, certain stuff you can't attend or certain stuff you can't do because you got meetings or podcasts. So you just gotta grow and accept it for what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that y'all feel this is a safe place to be able to express yourself. And I think that's always the concern of trying to balance as an entrepreneur and being a parent, because I'm sure there's never an intention for me and your dad to have you guys feeling like you just have to accept us not being present. But what I appreciate most about y'all is that y'all are very resilient kids and y'all do think of the bigger picture. So, as parents, what can me and your dad do better to make sure that y'all feel heard, seen, and loved, and not just supported?
Really just continue doing what we're doing.
Which is
Just
what? What are
maintain.
some things you feel like we do to stay connected?
I mean, it's like still going out to eat, still just having family bonding time. You know, we can't get away from that, even though schedule might be tight, different stuff. We should all still find a way to spend time together.
I agree.
So, y'all parents are divorced and have been divorced for a while. How do you feel like this? Do you feel like that affects everything with our legacy and our family connection and how we communicate as a family, or y'all feel like we are kind of working through that? I've always wanted to know how y'all feel.
I mean, it's not like that. Like we working through that, but it's also like now it's two different legacies. Like now it's just two of them. We was gonna have one all big one. Now we're gonna have two big ones. So it's just
The more the better. Mary?
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Joy? Bro, you can't just agree with everything your big brother say.
I mean, he putting in. He can't say it no better. So I mean,
Okay.
that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Cool. What do you wish more entrepreneur parents understood about balancing work and family?
Can you repeat that question?
What's one thing that you feel like us as y'all's parents or even other entrepreneur parents should understand when it comes to balancing work and balancing family?
Cause like some like not even saying y'all, but just in general, like I remember I'll be watching different shows when the parents the kids be raising themselves basically because they always going for a meeting, networking event, always something going. Like they have to make time for a family. And then sometimes it don't even be about the money because they be having all the money, but they just, it's like grid. They just keep wanting more and more money and they not even realizing they still have a family. They feel like their family should be okay because they making all the money, but sometimes it's not about the money, it's just about spending time with your family.
So entrepreneur parents should consider that presence. I talked about that earlier in my first segment, being actually present.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what about you, Joah? What's one thing you think entrepreneur parents should understand when it comes to balancing family and work?
That sometimes you might have to put one before the other. Like sometimes no matter how much hard you gotta work for your business, sometimes your family might need you and you might have to put one above the other, but not all the time.
Yeah, just like sometimes your family might need you, but business have to come first, and your family gonna have to accept that. But sometimes it's gonna be when your family needs you, and you gonna have to put business to the side to come attend your family.
So how important do y'all think transparency is? Like having, like we've had in the past, family meetings. Some of them have been beautiful. Some of them we've had to pause and come back to. But having those family meetings and just putting everything out there on the table, how important do y'all feel like that is? Do y'all feel like that's helped y'all cope with what we're going through as a family, having entrepreneur parents?
Yeah, that helps, but you just gotta stay consistent. Like not just one time, you just gotta keep doing it over and over, cause just for to better the communication and then close the gap in between the parents and the kids.
Yeah, I feel like it's very important because it helps like people learning from their mistakes and what to do in the future to avoid people from feeling a certain way or people feeling
Oh,
or people already feeling a certain way, and it helps build communication skills.
All right. What's something we've done as a family that helps you feel a part of this legacy journey?
like we always doing something. Like I could say that. Just like we up here, making or helping you do a podcast, or we gotta come up here and do different stuff just to help. Like Joah came did the intern program. She did her podcast. You know, just different stuff. Like y'all make us interact with the company. You know, with your company. I haven't been that active in CCN. Hopefully in the future I could get more active in
Especially
CCN.
you introduced yourself and said you had a YouTube page. So I'm sure there's some things we
I
can
haven't
do.
made a video yet,
Yeah.
actually.
We need to change that. So what are some things that your dad does that makes you feel a part of his legacy?
I just be with him a lot, like a lot. Sometimes I
A
didn't
lot, bro.
I didn't miss school to go help him on the road, different stuff. So like recently we was going to Arkansas and got stuck out of there for 4 days. But it's
What was
all
that like? Did you
man.
feel like you was missing out or did you feel like you was building legacy?
I was, but at the end I started getting mad and frustrated. But at the same time, it's the bigger picture, cause it's just gonna level up and level up. So sometimes the groundwork gotta be done for the building to be built. So we just doing the groundwork.
It's a beautiful way to look at it, son. What about you, Joe? What's some things that I've done to make you feel included? And what are some things your dad has done to make you feel included?
Including what, the legacy?
Yeah.
So obviously for you, like he said, always up here helping you and stuff. Like you went out your way to make sure I got the experience of the internship program, and I appreciate that. And then you helped me start a podcast, and then I just be up here helping you and stuff. And then with my dad, I really don't do much for my dad, but we be sitting down and having talks, and I can see the vision and stuff.
Yeah, and that's one thing I can say about both of my parents. Before any idea they have or anything they think they want to do to help their legacy or start a business or do anything, they gonna run it by their kids and make sure what we think about it and how we feel about it. So that's a good thing I like about that.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And That brings us to the live strategy part, but I want to speak to that because I feel like that is important because it's very hard, like I say, trying to balance both. But I'm glad that y'all do feel a part of the legacy because I know that's something that is intentional, which is something I spoke about earlier, being intentional. That's something intentional that me and your dad does, is to include y'all so that y'all can see the bigger picture.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes y'all bring stuff to us, and I just be like, no, like we can't. I don't think about it.
Yeah.
I don't think this would be a good idea. And at the same time, y'all bring stuff and we'll be like, yeah, this is gonna be a hit. So at the same time, I feel like y'all actually need that good feedback so you can make a good decision. And this has been times I brought stuff that I didn't like and it ended up being good, and it has been stuff I did like that didn't turn out that good. So
So you had to know I was gonna ask for an example. So what's something that we brought to the table you didn't like, but it ended up working out?
okay, for you, mama, I did not like when you was trying to do the what was that stuff you was trying to do? It was something with that building over there. You was trying to make it into it was gonna be something before what you was doing right now.
It's gonna be a theater.
Yeah.
You was never a fan?
I mean, I was like, nah, we couldn't do that. But now you got a way better idea. So yeah, but something I did like that didn't turn out as well was the music event. Like I liked it so much. I just thought it was gonna be so big. Actually, it had a good turnout, but compared to what I had in my mind, it didn't.
Which one, the Rock Fest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was also the field because it was about 400 or 500 people out there, but that field was so huge that it made it seem like it was about 15 people. But I was excited about the music festival too. It was a success, but it wasn't as big as we desired for it to be.
Yeah, just like what my dad, like he bring business ideas to me all the time, different ideas, and I be telling him sometimes yes, or even if y'all stuck on what idea, I'll probably try to tell y'all ways to better the idea, you know.
And that's important. You feel heard when you do that?
And that's another reason what ties back in would make us feel in a legacy because y'all always gonna bring it to us or let us know what y'all have going on. So that's
All
good.
right. Well, that brings us into our last segment, which is strategy and action. So I'm gonna ask y'all a question, and I'm gonna kind of go through this little strategy with y'all both individually, okay? So we're gonna start with you, Joah, since you say all the good stuff first. Share with me one goal you have for our family's future.
Can you repeat that?
Share with me one goal that you, Joah, has for our family's future.
We all be entrepreneurs and we all have our own wealth and that we can help each other.
Okay. So, is that a personal goal or is that a shared goal?
A shared goal, like we all should be able to pull up in our own cars and pull out with our own stuff. And then if we all need something, we should all be able to provide for each other.
Okay. So that's would you consider that a family goal or would you consider that a wealth goal or both?
I mean the goal is a goal.
Yeah, but I'm asking which category would you want to put that? Both.
Yeah.
A family goal. So for a family, you want us all to be wealthy, and as a wealth goal, you want all your family to have wealth.
Sounds about right.
Okay. What about you, Jesse?
It's not really just all about the wealth. Like we gonna work together and build generational wealth. Not I got $1 million, you got $1 million, cause that's not enough. Like it gotta be generational wealth, but also come together and building the bond as a family, building the empire together, which is more a goal for me. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at all these successful families like Walmart, different stuff like that. Like that was a family. Like Walmart is $1 million company, but that was also a family. So that's one of my goals, I would say. Wealth will also build the bond as a family.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought up Walmart and stuff. So every family has a brand, right? Like, so for instance, if our family, the Jones gang, let's just say that, was a brand, give me what our tagline would be.
Jonesmart. Nah, wait, that's whack.
That just came off the top, huh?
You said
Go
what
back
our
to the drawing
tagline would
board.
be?
Huh?
Keeping up with the Joneses.
That would be our tagline? And what would that mean?
I mean, like they got to bring it on and be like us, cause we bringing it.
Okay. Now we're gonna revisit Joah's. What would be our tagline for our family?
Oh, chaos with the Joneses.
Bruh.
I mean, it ain't there. You think about it like.
Control chaos.
Okay. All right. Y'all are funny. Okay. So, as we close out this segment, what advice would you give to other families with parents building businesses?
Stay close with your kids.
Is that just for parents, or you gonna say something for the kids too?
Oh, your kids. Your mama ain't gonna be there all the time. I'm sorry, boy.
Bro, y'all for real about these suggestions? So what? Give them to them again, dude. Look right there in that camera and tell them what your advice is.
Make time for your kids. And little boy, your mama ain't gonna be there all the time.
What about the little girl?
She know too.
Joah, your advice?
Repeat the question again.
Which advice would you give other families with parents building businesses?
Oh, communication is key. Communicate with your parents. Communicate with your kids. If you can't come to a game, communicate that. Don't just show up. I mean, don't just not show up. Communication, and then what's that word called? Yeah,
So what about for the kids?
kids.
You don't got nothing to say.
Acceptance. Acceptance is your fate. Yeah. If
So
you
why?
can't
So why you don't be accepting nothing? You be getting mad.
Shut up, stop me on black.
All right. So this has been a wonderful episode. I think it was more educational for me than it has been for anyone else. But I want to take the time to thank my family, my children. We got somebody missing, right?
Yep. Our big sister JC.
What y'all think JC experience is like having entrepreneurial parents?
I mean, it helped her out because now she did turn herself into one. So like, she adding on to the legacy.
Yep, she getting to the money, huh?
Yep.
Well, thank y'all for coming on. I appreciate your transparency. Thank y'all for being truthful on how y'all really feel about having parents that are building legacies and being entrepreneurs. It is such a pleasure to sit down and talk with you guys. For me, y'all, this episode really meant a lot. Bringing my kids on, like I said, this is one of my favorite pillars, but it is absolutely the hardest to balance because I feel like family and friends deserve everything, right? And you shouldn't have to balance it against anything else. But the world we live in is just not that way. But things that my kids said that I talked about earlier is very important. And that's being transparent, being intentional, and being present. Thank y'all for tuning in to this segment of What's Your Layout? Featuring the Jones family. Peace. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. We are here at the boardroom. So today's strategy that we're going to review is family and friends. And I just finished a segment of What's Your Layout, interviewing my children. And to be honest, it was a very refreshing conversation. However, it really makes me sit down and really think, like, is my strategy working or not? And I say that because my kids seem very resilient, and I'm really glad about their outlook on being children of entrepreneurial parents. But also, I had the opportunity to really hear them. You know, I asked the question, asked them what would make them feel more seen, more loved, more heard. And they said they feel that way, but they talked a lot about acceptance and accepting that their parents or their mom, let me speak straight for myself since we're at the boardroom, they have to accept that their mom is not as present as they originally desired for their parents to be. But they said because they understand the full scope of everything, that they have accepted it and that they understand the bigger picture and they're happy where they are with our family. And so for me, that is like, let's take a deep breath here. You know, I've always been transparent with my kids. You know, I talked about that in the first segment. But it's difficult as a parent to hear your children talk about acceptance, to talk about accepting that their parents aren't present. And I think that is what we struggle with as business owners, as founders is how do we show up present in all the places that need us? And so one thing I really realized from today is I have to be more intentional. So yes, I have a strategy in place, but I have to be more intentional when building that strategy out. I have to make sure that I'm considering how my decisions are affecting my children. But I also have to give myself grace because it shows a lot about who I am as their mother and who their father is to them on how they can see the world. You know, it just blew my mind how my son talked about leadership and how it's inspiring him and how he wants to continue on the legacy. And I asked him specifically about the divorce, right? How did the divorce affect them with everything that we have going on as a family? And he said that he sees it as now there's 2 legacies that he needs to continue on instead of 1. And so on one side of my mind, I'm like, that's added pressure, right? We're just adding more and more pressure to our kids' plates. But when I listen to what he said, he feels honored. He feels happy about having 2 different legacies. He feels like it's more the merry. And so honestly, y'all, I don't have this family thing figured out at all. I really don't, never have. But I have been consistent in just putting my best foot forward and being willing to hold myself accountable, being willing to sit myself down and have a transparent conversation with myself before even having a transparent conversation with my family. And it's difficult, y'all. It's difficult. But all we can do is continue to try our best. And, you know, this particular pillar is not just about family, it's also about friends. And maybe over the last year in my entrepreneurial journey with my business growing and me having to be very present at my company, I know I haven't been there for my friends the way that I have been in the past. I've missed plenty girls' nights, I've missed birthday parties, I've missed dinner, margaritas, like all the things. And honestly, these things mean a lot to me. And me not being there is not because I made a decision that I don't want to be a part. It's in this season, when you're working on strategy, you have to be very mindful of the season that you're in. And the season that I'm in as a business owner, as a CEO, and just as a woman, what I want to build for my life in general, I'm just in a season of being intentional. And so there are some things I won't be able to make, but honestly, there are some things that I can do a better job. And as I build my strategy for the first quarter of next year, this family and friends is a strategy that I'm going to spend time on because I want to be there. I want to be present. I want to be intentional. And I want to be transparent with all of those that I call family and friends because like I said earlier, this is what fuels me. I wouldn't do what I'm doing every day if I didn't have my family and friends, if I didn't have those relationships that make me feel empowered and make me feel like I can conquer the world. When I sit down and talk to my kids and I see how smart they are, it makes me feel like anything is possible. It gives me that energy to keep going. When I talk to my friends and I feel that support and I know that they love me, the human, the Jazmin, the person, before anything else, it just makes me feel loved. And it just shows the love of God because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And I'm very grateful to God for blessing me with kids, even though I had kids at a young age. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for my staff, my team members, all the people that mean the world to me. So my advice to all of you is take some time. Take a 15-minute sync with your family or your friends. Just sit them down, call them up, jump on a Zoom, whatever it takes to just have that conversation and let those people know how you feel about them. I spent many years being upset about things and not being transparent with people about where I really am. You know, I've been transparent as much as possible, but there are situations where I haven't been, and I'll just set on that. And I'm encouraging you not to do that. Communicate, because when people really love you, they understand, but you also have to be open-minded to hearing what they have to say and how they feel about it. So like I've always told y'all, this is my favorite pillar, but it is the one that's the most difficult to balance. So give yourself grace, be transparent, be intentional, and be present. I'll see y'all in the next episode of Business Talks with Jazmin J.